You sang along to these timeless classics thinking they were original works. But behind the curtain, four guys from Liverpool were pulling the strings of the entire music industry like a ruthless monopoly.
The leaves and the trees would be softly sighing if they heard from...
Today, you're going to discover the true masters of your nostalgia. Number 15. Joe Cocker, with a little help from my friends. This monumental soul rock anthem was a full-blown musical hijacking. Originally an inoffensive, almost childish little tune sung by Ringo Starr, Cocker grabbed it by the throat, completely changed the rhythm, and transformed it into a desperate battle cry. He stole the original track and made it bleed with pure blues attitude.
What would you do if I sang?
The assault worked flawlessly. It reached the very top of the charts in the United Kingdom and immortalized itself in the mud of the Woodstock Festival. It's about surviving, thanks to the compassion of those closest to you. Look up the lyrics on Google, but that raw scream had already torn through your throat. A scream that, in the 70s, would be traded for chemical trips in the studio. Number 14. Elton John, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The psychedelic smash hit of 1974 hides a ghost operating in the shadows. The original masterpiece was pure chemical madness from Lennon and McCartney. For this version, John Lennon himself walked into the studio to record the guitars and backing vocals, but he demanded to do it hidden under an absurd pseudonym to dodge the lawyers and his own record label. The legal loophole conquered the radio waves. It climbed straight to number 1 on the Billboard charts, fooling an entire new generation. It describes an hallucinogenic landscape filled with marmalade skies. Read it on Google, but you were just dancing under the hidden manipulation of a genius. A genius who sometimes gave away perfect songs, as if they were spare change. Number 13. Badfinger, Come and Get It. The power of pop rock, condensed into a historic debut, was just a perfectly timed act of charity. Paul McCartney wrote, produced, and recorded the backing track for this gem in exactly 1 hour on the clock. Seeing that he had talent to spare and it didn't fit on his own record, he handed it over to this rookie band, imposing strict rules on exactly how they had to play it, treating them like his own employees. The musical handout put them on the map. It reached the top spots on the Billboard, proving that the crumbs of a Beatle were absolute treasure to anyone else. It's a direct warning about seizing opportunities before they disappear. Look it up on Google, but that catchy piano hook had already reeled you in. And it was with that exact same charity that they manufactured their own arch-enemies. Number 12. The Rolling Stones, I Wanna Be Your Man. The biggest, most dangerous rivalry in rock history was a total advertising lie. The bad boys from London didn't have enough of their own material to make it big. Lennon and McCartney wrote this track in a dirty corner during someone else's rehearsal and gave it to them as a gift. Literally, the boys from Liverpool manufactured and handed them their first massive radio hit on a silver platter. The Secret Help launched the Stones' career in 1963, creating a media monster that they themselves controlled. It deals with the desperate obsession of becoming the sole owner of a woman's heart. You can look it up on Google, but you knew that Rebellion was pure English fiction. A fiction that was sometimes written simply to kill time on the beach. Number 11. Billy J. Kramer with The Dakotas, Bad to Me.
If you're bad to me.
This radio classic was just discarded trash left over from a summer vacation.
I'm so in love with you.
John Lennon wrote it in passing while vacationing in Spain. The band never bothered releasing it commercially under their own name, guiltlessly handing it off so other artists under their same manager could build an entire career with what they threw in the trash.
The leaves and the trees would be softly sighing if they heard from.
The recycling worked like clockwork. It climbed into the top 10 of the American Billboard, demonstrating an absolute dominance of the radio dial.
Yes, you let me know you won't be there to me.
It talks about the fear of lies ruining a perfect relationship. Look for the lyrics on Google, but you are consuming a musical throwaway, disguised as a masterpiece.
You won't be there to me.
Throwaways that were sometimes born exclusively out of hatred between the songwriters themselves. Number 10. Peter and Gordon, A World Without Love.
What they say, I won't stay in a world without love.
The inescapable pop anthem of 1964 survived a direct and humiliating rejection.
Please lock me away and don't allow.
Paul wrote it when he was 16, but Lennon deeply hated it and laughed at the lyrics, refusing to sing it. Spurned and with a bruised ego, McCartney gave it to his girlfriend's brother just to prove that his composition actually worked.
With my loneliness, I don't care.
The melodic Revenge crushed the charts. It was crowned at the very top of the Billboard, humiliating his bandmates' arrogance with an unquestionable triumph.
So I wait, and in a while, I will see my...
It tells of the refusal to live in a world where true love doesn't exist. Read it on Google, but that sweet melody hid a ruthless war of egos. A war that crossed the ocean to disguise itself in high-fashion tropical clothes. Number 9. Sergio Mendes and Brazil, 66, The Fool on the Hill. The Latin classic that hypnotized America was a facelift for a bad psychedelic trip.
Day after day, alone on a hill.
They took a depressing, surreal, acoustic piece by McCartney and injected it with an overdose of fine percussion. They transformed a misunderstood English hermit into the festive soul of American high society, diluting the original strangeness into pure, seductive groove.
Nobody wants to know him. They can see that he's just a fool.
The tropical camouflage was a gigantic phenomenon. It monopolized pop radio in 1968 with a deceptive elegance.
Going down, and the eyes in
It's about a madman ignored by everyone who actually holds the absolute truth. Look it up on Google, but you were swaying your shoulders, anesthetized by that Brazilian rhythm. A rhythm that sometimes turned to folk just to manipulate the charts from a corporate office. Number 8. Mary Hopkin. Goodbye. This sweet pop-folk ballad was a flawless corporate manipulation disguised as art.
tomorrow comes, and I will
McCartney didn't write it out of pure inspiration. He composed it exclusively as a marketing tool. He wanted to launch this young girl's career under his own record label, Apple Records, using his melodic genius as bait to hook the attention of the entire European audience.
Songs that lingered on my lips excite.
The advertising gimmick was a smash. It went straight to the top of the British charts, proving they could manufacture teen idols purely on an executive whim.
Goodbye, my love, goodbye.
It's a gentle goodbye to leave the past behind and start over. Look up the lyrics on Google, but that angel's voice was following strict corporate orders.
The song of lonely love invites me on.
But the biggest deception of all was hiding a narcotic ode under disco balls and nightclub smoke. Number 7. Earth, Wind and Fire. Got to Get You Into My Life. The massive 70s floor filler was brutally ripped, straight from the English vaults. The original was a secret declaration of love to marijuana, hidden by the Englishman on the Revolver album. The American band hijacked it, injected it with dazzling horns and a violent bass line, disguising the narcotic trip as pure weekend fever for the radio waves.
I was alone, took a ride, I didn't know what I would find.
The funk camouflage nailed it to the summit of the 70s. It transformed a forbidden secret into the undisputed anthem of disco soul. It is a literal love letter to an illegal, mind-altering substance. Read it on Google, but that infectious groove forced you to sweat without asking any questions. A need to toughen up the sound that was also used to try and save mediocre movies. Number 6. Aerosmith. Come Together. The heavy 1978 version was a desperate attempt to inject danger into a classic. They took Lennon's masterpiece, nailed it with razor-sharp guitars, and dragged it through the mud for the soundtrack of an awful movie. The aggressive attitude tried to hide the fact that, underneath the distortion and screaming, they were still playing the exact same English melody as always. The overdose of attitude saved the track. It forced its way onto FM radio stations, keeping itself alive for an entire generation. It recounts absurd cryptic scenes with no logical sense about a street guru. Look it up on Google, but American arrogance had already stolen the show. An arrogance that the Beatles themselves had to swallow to cover up their greatest failure. Number 5. The Foremost. Hello, Little Girl.
Hello, little girl.
This British hit is the ghost of the first humiliating failure for the biggest band in the world.
I see you every day, I say, hello, little girl.
It was the very first song ever written by Lennon back in '57. They played it live during a crucial audition, but the Decca executives looked them right in the face and rejected them. To erase the shame, they decided to give it away to someone else and hide their own historical stumble.
Catch your eye, I cried, hello, little girl.
The secret image laundering worked perfectly. The track conquered the United Kingdom, proving those record executives had been grossly mistaken.
Flowers, but you don't care. You never seem to see me standing there.
It's an innocent, street-level approach to a girl walking by. Look up the lyrics on Google, but you are actually listening to the sound of undercover revenge. A revenge that at other times provoked American legends to steal right back from them. Number 4. Fats Domino, Lady Madonna. The relentless rhythm of this blues piano closed a perfect circle of cultural appropriation in both directions. McCartney wrote the piece shamelessly, trying to imitate the style of the legendary New Orleans pianist. Hearing it on the radio, Fats Domino decided to reclaim the sound that had been stolen from him, recording it in the studio and taking complete ownership of the track. The recovery of his identity became the last massive triumph for the old guard. It was the triumphant farewell of a legend reclaiming his own throne. It narrates the exhausting struggle of a single mother raising her children. Look it up on Google, but that piano was keeping the pulse of a righteous robbery. And when they wanted to control a robbery, they shamelessly used studio puppets. Number 3. The Silky, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away.
Hey, you've got to hide your love away.
This acoustic jewel of the 60s was a sinister experiment with rookie bands controlled by puppet strings. Lennon wrote it desperately trying to copy Bob Dylan. Not wanting to expose himself too much, McCartney sat in the producer's chair to handle this inexperienced folk group, while John sang in the shadows, controlling the result from the sound booth in total secrecy. The acoustic deception reached the number 10 spot in America. They fooled the audience into believing they were listening to fresh, independent talent. It chronicles the absolute paranoia of having to hide your true feelings from society. You can read it on Google, but the mind control had already been executed.
Hey, you've got to hide your love away.
A control so powerful, it brought even the most exotic and arrogant star of the 70s to his knees. Number 2. David Bowie, Across the Universe.
Across the universe, pools of sorrow.
The chameleon of glam rock surrendered on his knees to the true kings in 1975.
How drifting through my open mind, possessing.
Bowie decided to record this mystical space trip, but he knew he couldn't desecrate it alone. John Lennon himself showed up at the New York studios in the middle of the night to nail down the rhythm guitar and backing vocals, standing guard to make sure the cover didn't ruin his original work. The clash of titans immortalized the track. It proved that even the most revolutionary stars in the universe needed the official blessing of a Beatle. It is a mantra searching for peace of mind, while everything around you loses all meaning. Look up the lyrics on Google, but Lennon's guitar had already secretly cast its spell on you. Blessings that, on other occasions, were dispatched like 5-minute office paperwork. Number 1. Cilla Black, Step Inside Love.
Step inside, love. Let me find.
The inescapable classic of British radio was half-heartedly manufactured as a simple advertising jingle.
Together now and forever. Come.
Paul McCartney custom wrote it under strict orders just so it could be the theme song for this TV host's program. He grabbed his guitar and knocked out a masterpiece out of pure contractual obligation, just to do a favor for his friends in television.
Step inside, love.
The office paperwork turned into a gigantic smash hit. It ruled the European airwaves, completely crushing the idea that art required deep pain and profound inspiration.
You look tired, love. let me.
It's a warm, romantic invitation to share intimacy. Look it up on Google to prove it, but you had already been seduced by a rushed commercial jingle. They manufactured magic even when they were obligated to. The real talent operated in the shadows.